Welcome. 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 My name is Ben Franzone,
And my name is Jackie Bazazzi.
and we are your SGA co-presidents. It is our pleasure to call the Senior Convocation for the class of 2026 to order. Please rise for the procession. Please be seated.
For many years, Senior Convocation has paid tribute to the journey that students experience on the Hill. As we begin the process of finishing our last semester on campus and preparing to contemplate how we will move into the world, let us continue to reflect on our time at Holy Cross. This year, we have been fortunate to serve as your SGA co-presidents. Our class has faced many obstacles throughout our time on the Hill, but through it all, we have been resilient and found a way to persevere and live the mission of this institution.
While today we reflect on our time together thus far at Holy Cross, we look forward to the many traditions to be had and the memories to be made during our last semester. At the conclusion of Senior Convocation, please make your way over to the Hogan Ballroom for a reception before classes begin tomorrow. Now, members of our class will share brief snapshots from each year. First, we will hear from Ann Lyndall Wigman, who will share image reflections from our first year.
Our first year. Pulling up to your residence hall in late August to a crowd of excited students ready to carry all your things to your new home for the next 8 months. Sitting in these exact same seats for our first year convocation, but the friends around you now were people you had yet to meet. Spending sunny and a handful of rainy Saturdays in the fall on Fitton Fields, embracing school spirit and what it means to bleed purple. Running outside for the first snowfall of the year with friends who were ready for winter to begin and some who had never even seen snow before. Huddling together outside your residence hall in the middle of the night for yet another fire drill that was just a false alarm. Sitting on Easy Street after class in the spring, as soon as the temperature went above 60 degrees. Packing up your residence hall and driving away from campus, already counting down the days until we were back together for our sophomore year.
Sophomore year. Moving back onto a familiar campus, but into a new residence hall. You immediately miss the swarm of student leaders and student athletes moving you in as you stare up the staircase, only 4 trips to go. Becoming oddly cozy with the yellow handshake chair in the Center for Career Development as you lean over and grab a bright red brochure outlining the perfect resume. Your internship search has begun. Enduring a horrid freeze, cold enough to silence even the students of Holy Cross. As you trudge through the cold back to your bed, you realize you've taken a wrong turn toward your old residence hall. Enduring the bombardment of study abroad emails, applying for a visa, picking your classes for your junior year fall, or conspiring with your friends. Do you think we can get Williams next year? And Belting Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield, horribly off-key. You forget all about the growing food truck lines, and you decide to enjoy the moment right then and there. Packing up your residence hall and realizing that it doesn't get easier. You say goodbye to friends going abroad, have a final Kimball meal, and reunite with your family. All of a sudden, the once timid first-year student on move-in day has become an upperclassman.
Junior year on campus. Finally living close enough to Kimball that meals become a part of your routine instead of a trek across campus. Walking to football games with seniors, standing through another rainy family weekend, and realizing how familiar it all feels. Noticing the emptiness left by friends abroad, while growing closer to the classmates who are still here. Being recognized as an upperclassman and realizing this may be your last semester sharing campus with certain people. Feeling free and confident at your place at Holy Cross, while quietly starting to look beyond it.
Junior year abroad. Stumbling through thoroughly practiced sentences of choppy Italian words at restaurants just to be met with, yes, anything else, from the server. Bumpy late-night scooter trips down Florentine streets after a sciopero turned a 4-hour day trip into a 12-hour lesson in using Google Maps. Pacing with my notes outside of my archaeology professor's office before an oral exam in Italian, because that final look will help me remember the difference between Marzia Bianco and Marzia Rosso. Getting violently carsick during an 8-hour volunteer ambulance shift, winding through Tuscan streets to reach a hospital at the top of a hill in Santa Brigida, a town I didn't even know existed, and being greeted by the most beautiful view of the city below. Hearing Forza Nave while running over cobblestone streets and feeling like you finally belonged, even if it took running 13.1 miles to get there. holding on tightly to my host mom while ugly crying, because as much as I want to go home, I don't want to leave the family that made being abroad feel like home.
Senior year. Stepping back on campus in August with the entirety of your class in one place again. Circles of friends expand with new friends met abroad, finding a sense of newness in returning home to Holy Cross, no matter where junior year took you. Saying yes to living in the present, even in the little moments, and chatting with your friends on a walk from class, or potentially at full volume in the main room of Dine-In when you're supposedly studying. Enjoying what might be the first and last family weekend without rain at Holy Cross, and probably most likely overstaying your tailgating welcome with your family and friends on the baseball field after the game. Realizing everyone is starting to find that one thing that makes them excited for post-grad. A job, grad school, service, returning home, traveling the world, or somewhere in between. Being excited for each other as we find our next path. Watching our last first snow on the hill and our last Christmas tree lighting. Making it through exams and then packing up to come home, already eager to return to our senior spring. Excited, maybe a little nervous, motivated, and ready to be the leaders we once looked up to 4 years ago as we return for our very last first day at Holy Cross.
On our first day as Holy Cross students, we stood on freshman field, trying to pretend we weren't terrified. The weather was hot, the music was blasting from a tiny speaker someone definitely should not have trusted. And every one of us was rehearsing our own name in case someone asked. We did not know it then, but some of the people we met that night would become the ones we would spend the next 4 years with, studying, living, laughing, panicking over enrollment. Since then, this place has given us its own rhythm. We learned what it meant to walk across campus in February when your eyelashes could probably snap off. We learned that when the hovel is full, no one ever actually opens a laptop. We learned that once you find a table in Dine-In during finals week, you guard it as if your life depended on it. The small moments are what make Holy Cross feel like Holy Cross. The wait at Cool Beans that tests your patience and your character. The sound of sandals on Easy Street when the weather finally turns nice and everyone becomes a better version of themselves simply because the sun is out. My most important memories here do not come from big events. They come from the people around me. The roommates who became siblings. The friends who knew when to pull you out of your room and when to sit with you in it. Somewhere along the way, we did not just build a circle of friends. We built a family. That family carried us through the tougher moments. We have all had the experience of walking into Stein feeling confident and walking out wondering if we chose the wrong major. We have all had professors who asked a single question that made us rethink the entire world. And somehow, every time we reached a point where we were stretched thin, someone around us helped us stay steady. As I stand here, I think about how often we've returned to this building. Mass, retreats, orientation, even just passing by on the walk to Kimball. We've moved through it so many times that it's easy to take it for granted. But this chapel holds the stories of every class that came before us. And now, we're adding our own. What we are doing tonight is not saying goodbye, it's pressing pause. We have one semester left, which is a long time, or no time at all. And the truth is, we get to decide what this last stretch will look like. Right now, if you look around this chapel, we are not all feeling the same thing. Some of us have it lined up: a job, grad school, a plan that is color-coded, and honestly, respect. Some of us are somewhere in the middle. We have options, we have interviews, we have a general direction, but it still feels unreal. Some of us are sitting here thinking, I don't even know what I'm doing next week, never mind next year. If that is you, you are not behind. You are human. And even if you are confident about what is next, that does not mean you are not feeling it. Because underneath all of those different situations is the same strange truth. This is ending. That is the part we do not always let ourselves say out loud. Last semester, I learned how easy it is to miss the ending while you're too busy trying to earn the future. I was so caught up studying for the LSAT and thinking about law school that I stopped paying attention to what was right in front of me. I treated Holy Cross like a checklist. Get through the week, get this score, apply, move on. And then, out of nowhere, over this winter break, it really hit me. It looms over you. There are going to be last times this spring that you will not recognize until they're already gone. That is what makes this semester feel so charged. It's excitement and fear at the same time. It is gratitude and grief at the same time. It is feeling ready to leave and also wanting to freeze everything exactly as it is. So here is my task for you. At some point in the first 2 weeks of the semester, choose a special or even unlikely person at Holy Cross and have one real conversation with them. Not a, we should hang out sometime, not a, how was break conversation, a real one. Invite them to coffee, or a walk, or a booth in Kimball, and ask them 2 questions. What are you excited for next? And what are you scared of losing? What are you excited for next? And what are you scared of losing? Then, answer those questions yourself, honestly. That's it. One person, 2 questions. See what you learn, not just about them, but about yourself too. If we do not make space for what we are feeling, this semester will fly by the way everything else has. We will leave with 1,000 photos, but not enough moments actually lived. Let that land for a second. Take a breath. Think of the person you might choose. Picture their face. Picture where you would sit. Let yourself feel, just for a moment, how much this place has meant. This last semester is not just about finishing requirements. It is about finishing with awareness, showing up to the life we already have. We walked onto this campus years ago, not knowing who we would become. And now, we get to choose how we finish becoming it.
Thank you, Robert and Juliana, for that gorgeous music and for sharing your talents with us. So greetings, class of 2026. It is my real honor and pleasure to be with you this evening. Now, as you know, we have a wonderful tradition here at Holy Cross of hosting this convocation for seniors not in May, as part of the commencement exercises, but in January. And I think one of the biggest gifts that we give you by doing this is that we're trying to offer you an opportunity to really reflect on your time here, spent atop Mount St. James, and to perhaps reflect a little bit on how that might affect what comes next. And as you know, reflection is deeply embedded in our Jesuit Catholic traditions. It provides an opportunity to slow the frenzied pace of our everyday lives, to celebrate our achievements, to perhaps cast aside some regrets, and to ponder what lies in the days, weeks, and years ahead. So it does hint at an end soon to come, as you heard from our speaker and from others. And it also offers us hope, some rumination, and some understanding. Now, as I said, I'm very honored to be part of this tradition, and I'm not here to give you advice, but I am here to encourage you to reflect, as I said, on your Holy Cross journeys, and again, to contemplate what comes next. And I also want to just share some of my hopefulness about that. Now, you've heard me say many times before that our highest mission here at Holy Cross is to accompany the young in the creation of a hope-filled future. And I say that, despite today's world not always looking so very hopeful. It's full of conflict, division, hate, and violence. Not to mention economic uncertainty and a changing world of work that's affecting job markets and opportunities for you and for your peers. But also know that adversity breeds strength. It's always been the case that generations before you have had to experience real challenges. But those difficulties have brought people and communities together. It's tested them and made them appreciate and lean into their individual gifts and talents. It might be called stabilizing and encouraging their agency. So I remain hopeful, even optimistic, for you as individuals and for all the ways that you will create a hope-filled future. And that's because of what I have seen in all of you, the class of 2026, and what I have seen in decades of Holy Cross alumni, and what I know is inherent and special about the Holy Cross educational experience. Holy Cross graduates are strong, creative, and resilient. Now, one of the joys of my time here has been my opportunity to have dinner with you throughout the year with each class, and my wife and I really love this opportunity to get to know some of you better. And I hear a lot during those dinners, a lot that impresses me and makes me think. So many of you are juggling so much. You're challenging yourselves in so many unique ways, whether it's in athletics or the arts, student government, or other leadership roles, in research and in work. And that capacity that you have to juggle, to do all kinds of different things while you're here, is great preparation for what comes next. I also heard from a lot of you about your time abroad, or your interest in spending time abroad, in studying, working, or in living in ways that will expand your perspectives even more. Now, about 40% of you spent some time abroad in your junior year, whether for a Maymester or a semester or a full year. And as I heard your stories, and as I thought about the experiences that many of you had and shared, I thought about my own experience going abroad when I was a junior, and what it meant for me and how it changed me. And one story I thought I'd share with you was the somewhat inauspicious beginning of my time abroad. Now remember, it may not have been the time when dinosaurs walked the earth, but it was a time when there was no social media, no cell phones, no computers. So when you went abroad, you were gone. So I got on the plane, I waved to my parents. I was ready. I had written a letter. Yes, I had to write a letter to the hotel where I was staying so that they knew I was coming. Got off the plane in Paris. I still had to take another 2-hour train ride, but that was the next day. Got in the cab, had my little, as someone said, my perfect phrases ready in French to get where I had to go. Got there, got my stuff out of the cab, waved goodbye to the cab, walked up to the hotel, and there was a note on the door. As is often the case in France, the hotel was informing us that it was closed for the month of August. See you in September. So there I was. It was August, standing in front of a hotel that was closed with all of my stuff for a year, and I had to figure it out. So here I was, walking through the streets of Paris, random strangers occasionally helping me with my bags. And I had to find a place to stay. I had also told many of my friends to meet me at this hotel who were also going abroad with me, and I guess they were having similar experiences at that time. But I did it. I figured it out. I found a hotel. I figured out how to call my parents and reverse the charges. And I got on the train the next day and began my year, a great year abroad. And that was just the first time of many other times that we're going to follow, of all kinds of transformative experiences that really shaped me and have continued to shape me throughout the rest of my life. And I just share that story with you for a moment just to say that the entire experience you've had here for 4 years, or almost 4 years at Holy Cross, your successes, your struggles, the hiccups that come along, have set you up so very well for the next stages of your journey. I also want you to know that your curiosity, your interest in the world, and your devotion to living in community also give me hope. All these characteristics, the values that shape you and that we believe in and nurture, that you've nurtured in your time here, will serve you for a lifetime, not just in work, but in every single aspect of your lives. I also see this in the Holy Cross alumni, which you will soon become. And I've seen so many alumni from so many different generations, and I see this in class after class after class. These experiences have helped them shape paths and build success as well. Every year we survey our alumni 6 months after graduation, and every year, the vast majority of them are employed full-time, or in grad school, serving in a full-time volunteer role like AmeriCorps or the Jesuit Volunteer Corps, or participating in academic fellowship programs like Fulbright, or maybe just traveling the world. And you should know, and I think you should hear from me, that by success, and I know you will all be successful, we mean a full and meaningful life. Not just a good job, not just another experience to remark upon. Something that builds way beyond your first job. And the success that I know you will all find is not necessarily built on a straight path. It's going to come on narrow and winding paths and unexpected ones. But you're going to have the tools to manage it. Some of you are worried about your salaries over time. And yes, that makes sense. Am I going to be able to afford a life? Well, the U.S. Department of Education's college scorecard and all the college rankings note high average earnings of our graduates 10 years out. But as I've just told you, it is more than that. Many of our graduates start out in volunteer roles or public service roles, and there's such incredible value in that work. Again, the value that shapes you as you go forward, the value that you will carry with you as a human being for the rest of your life. And our own surveys of our alumni, going back, believe it or not, to 1950, show incredibly diverse pathways and incredibly diverse routes to success. And alums always tell me that the experience they had at Holy Cross helped them become who they actually became, even though they may have had doubts about where they were going, and in particular, doubts about how they would get there. Now, I know you often hear in today's world that you are being pushed, or you feel that you're being pushed towards certainty to have it all figured out, but that is not how it works. All of our journeys are more complicated than they may seem, and certainty is just not something that most of us have. Again, I think of someone close to me, my own son, who's just a little bit older than you. I have 3, but my oldest is a musician. He's an artist. There is no certainty in his life, not to mention no money. But that's okay. That is truly okay, because he loves what he's doing, and he's passionate about it, and he's making a difference in so many people's lives, and he feels truly, truly drawn to the work that he's doing, and he's willing to accept the uncertainties because it's the person that he is and the person he wants to be. And every single day he does something that just amazes me. He changes a patient's life in the hospital because of his music, or he makes a new friend because of his music, or he makes someone's wedding truly memorable in ways that just can't be put into words. We believe that a hope-filled future is found when you open yourself to new ideas, when you are patient with ambiguity and uncertainty, and when you embark on your journey with humility and vulnerability. So I'm hopeful for you. I'm confident in your abilities, in the knowledge and the perspectives you've acquired, and in the qualities you possess, and the perspectives that you've earned. I'm hopeful for the future because you, and because of Holy Cross, this mission to educate people for and with others is coming into life. The characteristics and values we talk about, empathy, curiosity, and humility, may not be heard much in the current moment. Instead of embracing the celebration of difference within a community of belonging, we see a lot of marginalization, othering, and intolerance. But that's not how we are at Holy Cross. Our mission tells us, and I quote, to make the best of our own talents, to work together, to be sensitive to one another, to serve others, and to seek justice within and beyond the Holy Cross community. And I see you doing that, and it makes me proud. And it gives me hope. It gives our alumni hope as well. And someone was describing this to me recently, a trustee who ultimately said to me, you know, Holy Cross is a goodness factory. I couldn't agree more. It is a privilege to have walked alongside you on your journeys at Holy Cross, and to reflect with you tonight as you look ahead to your final semester and your hope-filled future. Be intentional about how you choose to spend your time. Enjoy the journey and enjoy the winding path. Thank you for being a part of this joyful goodness factory here at Holy Cross. Congratulations. Enjoy your senior year.
Along the field as we came by, A year ago, my love and I, the aspen over stile and stone, was talking to itself alone. Oh, who are these that kiss and pass? A country lover and his lass, two lovers looking to be wed, and time shall put them both to bed. But she shall lie with earth above, and he beside another love. And sure enough, beneath the tree, there walks another love with me, and overhead the aspen heaves its rainy sounding silver leaves. And I smell nothing in their stir, but now perhaps they speak to her, and plain for her to understand. They talk about a time at hand when I shall sleep with clover clad. And she beside another lad. Through my heart is laden, for golden friends I had, for many a rose-lipped maiden and many a light-foot lad. By brooks too broad for leaping, the light-foot boys are laid, the rose-lipped girls are sleeping in fields where roses fade.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the beginning of the end. I want you to travel with me for a moment. We're traveling back, not for years, not quite, just back to your first semester, to your first year seminar, to a book. For most of you, that book was George Orwell's 1984. You might remember the first line. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. It was an opening meant to unsettle you, to signal that the world you were entering was fundamentally different. In a way, that was what your first semester of college was, wasn't it? A world with new rules, new ideas, and a clock striking a new hour in your life. Back then, we gave you a set of questions that seemed vast, almost abstract. Questions like, what is truth? How do language and power intertwine? What does it mean to be human? You answered those questions in essays and discussion posts. But over the last 4 years, you've been answering them in a much more profound way. You wrestle with the nature of truth, not just in philosophy class, but in the science lab, in the archives, and in the studio. You learn to sift through data, to challenge sources, and to distinguish noise from fact. You learn how language and power intertwine every time you wrote a research paper, debated a classmate, and found the courage to articulate a belief you weren't yet sure of. You learn that the well-reasoned argument is a powerful tool for change. And you explore what it means to be human in late-night conversations in the residence halls, in the victories and failures of your teammates, in the art you created, and in the friendships you forged that will last a lifetime. You learn that our humanity is found not in isolation, but in connection. 4 years ago, Winston Smith was a character on a page, a cautionary tale. The questions we asked were an academic exercise. Now, look where you are, on the threshold. That bright, cold day is no longer the start of your college journey, but the dawn of whatever comes next. And those questions are no longer academic. They are central questions of your adult life. So, as you enter the final semester, I ask you to consider them one last time. This semester, don't just count the credits, make the credits count. Don't just rush towards the finish line. Pause and look around at the people who ran this race with you. The finish line isn't an ending, it's a gateway. The world you're about to enter is complex. It's a world that needs clear-eyed guardians of truth. It needs people who use their words not to control or obscure, but to build and to clarify. It needs people who fiercely protect their own inner life, their capacity for independent thought, for empathy, for love, the very things Big Brother sought to destroy. Orwell gave us a profound warning. Your education, we hope, has given you the tools to heed it. You are not Winston Smith, defeated by the system. You are the thinkers, the creators, and the leaders who will shape it. The clock is striking for you now. Congratulations on making this far. Now, go and make this last semester your own. Welcome back.
Please stand for our closing blessing. Loving God, as we gather at the threshold of a new semester, we come before you in gratitude for the class of 2026. We give thanks for their varied gifts and talents, for the memories they've shared, and the relationships that have been formed among them. We acknowledge, too, the challenges they have faced and the countless ways that you have been and continue to be at work in their lives. Bless these students as they begin their final semester together at Holy Cross. May their hearts and minds always be open to your call, and may they be courageous and compassionate in their discernment. Bless their teachers and mentors, families and friends, all whose encouragement, wisdom, and love have helped shape them into the people they are and the people they are becoming. And as we go forth this evening, may we do so with a spirit of anticipation, hope, and solidarity, ready to support and uplift one another, so that we can learn together and to grow in service of our world and of your people. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. Please remain standing for the singing of the Alma Mater.